Chosen ones, why exhaust yourself as someone who only pulls away the more you give? Why not step back, stay silent, and let them feel the weight of your absence, your energy, your time, your presence? They are precious, but they mean nothing when handed to someone who barely acknowledges your worth. Every time you extend yourself in hopes they'll notice, hoping they'll finally see what you bring, they step back, taking more of you without a second thought. This isn't a misunderstanding. They take advantage of your desire to be seen, keeping you in their orbit for their own convenience. They don't value you because they don't have to. You've allowed them the comfort of taking you for granted. Why? Because you've shown repeatedly that you'll always be there, waiting, giving, hoping. But hope in this case isn't a bridge to fulfillment. It's a trap. You're not a secondary option, and your worth isn't a shadow to be noticed only when they feel the urge. Every time you wait around, you sacrifice parts of yourself that deserve more, that deserve respect and care. Stop waiting for them to offer crumbs of validation that only drain you further, leaving you feeling like a perpetual afterthought. The truth is simple. When you give someone the role of deciding your worth, you relinquish your own power and independence. You are giving them the keys to your happiness, and then wondering why they leave you standing outside in the cold. Setting boundaries isn't just about keeping people out. It's about choosing who and what you let in. It's reclaiming the spaces in your life that you've let this person occupy freely without deserving it. Boundaries mean refusing to be a placeholder for someone else's whims, choosing instead to prioritize your own well-being, joy, and growth. This isn't cruelty or coldness, it's self-respect. When you create limits, you take back control of your life, deciding where your energy goes, who gets to share in it, and how it should be valued. The simple act of stepping back, of stopping the chase, speaks volumes. It shows that you recognize your own value, that you are no longer interested in convincing anyone else of it. This isn't about proving a point. It's about letting go of a losing game. Reclaim your energy, set clear boundaries, and remember, you're in control of your own happiness. You are not someone's optional choice. Stop waiting, stop chasing, and start prioritizing yourself. Every time you stretch yourself thin, waiting for their attention, offering your presence like a lifeline they barely notice, you lose parts of yourself. You've been pouring out your energy endlessly, feeding a one-sided exchange where they take your commitment for granted, assuming you'll always be there. But here's the truth. People value what isn't handed to them freely. The more you chase, the more they retreat, comfortable in the knowledge that you'll always be there. Your willingness to give without receiving has become unspoken permission for them to treat your presence as a backdrop rather than as the focal point it deserves to be. Stop. Step back. Shift your focus from them to yourself, and in that quiet space, let them feel what it means when you're no longer constantly available. Distance isn't an act of aggression. It's a necessary boundary that underscores your self-worth. By creating this distance, you remind them that your presence isn't a fixture, that your attention is something that can be missed, even lost. Silence has its own kind of power, far stronger than words or gestures. In that silence, you create a question mark that only they can answer. When you're no longer chasing, they are left with the reality of your absence, forced to confront the void left in your place. People may not notice your presence, but they will certainly feel the weight of your absence. This is where the dynamic begins to shift. When you cease to reach out, when you stop waiting for responses or begging for scraps of acknowledgement, you put the responsibility of connection back in their hands. They are no longer in control of your time or your attention. Instead, they're faced with the unsettling realization that they may have taken you for granted. This absence becomes a mirror in which they see themselves, and perhaps for the first time, They start to question their own actions. And in this silence, you reclaim your strength. By stepping back, you free yourself from the exhaustion of constantly giving to someone who doesn't reciprocate. You restore your own power, choosing to invest in yourself rather than deplete yourself for someone else's indifference. Let them feel your absence. Let them wonder where they stand. You have no obligation to remain a constant in their life if they fail to value you. This distance isn't about punishing them, it's about prioritizing yourself. They may come to realize what they've lost, or they may not. Either way, you have reclaimed your worth. You've noticed it. People drawn to you, intrigued, sometimes threatened. They see something they can't quite define, a light, a presence that commands respect even in silence. And while some may attempt to diminish it, their efforts reveal more about their insecurities than about you. You carry a weight that few can hold, and they know it, even if they pretend otherwise. Their attempts to test you, to undermine you, are acknowledgments of the power you hold. This isn't a sign of weakness. On the contrary, these challenges serve as proof of your resilience. Every barrier you encounter, every person who tries to shake you, is merely a test, a chance to reinforce the walls of your inner sanctuary. These encounters aren't there to break you. They're there to refine you, to make your strength unmistakable, unbreakable. In a world that doesn't always understand the presence you carry, know that you are not left to fend alone. You are divinely protected, wrapped in a power greater than any earthly force. This protection isn't passive, it's active, guarding you against energies and intentions that don't serve your purpose. With every step you take, you are shielded by a force that watches, that values your strength, that fortifies you against anything seeking to diminish your light. And this protection is not some vague reassurance. It's a reminder that even when others fail to see your worth, a higher force is working, ensuring you stay aligned with a purpose greater than any challenge set before you. This divine shield keeps you from harm, not by removing obstacles, but by strengthening you through each one. It pushes you to face adversity, not with fear, but with certainty, knowing that every test brings you closer to your true power. These challenges, these hurdles, they're not here to defeat you. They are catalysts, refining your spirit and grounding you more firmly in your purpose. You are being forged, each struggle sharpening your resilience and clarifying your path. Embrace every obstacle as a reminder of your strength, knowing that while others may try to tempt or unsettle you, they cannot touch the core of who you are. Each step forward, each lesson, each victory over adversity draws you nearer to your calling. And with every triumph, your power grows, more radiant, undeniable, and anchored in purpose. If you're struggling with the weight of these challenges, with finding strength through each trial, join Obsidian Inner Order powered by Chosen Code. This is where resilience meets clarity, a space for those walking the path of purpose and seeking the tools to turn every setback into fuel. Here you'll find a community that understands the fire you carry, providing support to turn every trial into a triumph and every challenge into a step toward your calling. The link is in the description below. Your story is yours to shape, and the only voice that matters in it is your own. For too long you've waited, lingering on the edge of someone else's approval, hoping they'll see your worth, that they'll validate what you already know deep down. But here's the truth. True power lies in no longer waiting, in no longer bending your own narrative to fit into theirs. You have the power to take your story in your hands and own it. Stop shrinking. Stop editing yourself to fit into someone else's vision, to play a role in a life that isn't meant to be yours. You are the protagonist, the author, and the hero. They may try to shape you, to mold you, to make you think your worth depends on how well you fit into their expectations. But that's an illusion, one they've crafted for their own comfort. When you rely on someone else's approval, you hand over the pen, allowing them to decide what comes next, letting them decide your value. But the moment you stop caring about whether they'll notice you're gone, whether they'll miss you, whether they'll come to understand your worth, that's the moment you reclaim your power. They can no longer dictate your steps, can no longer be the gatekeeper of your happiness. Your life stops revolving around their recognition and begins to revolve around your purpose, your voice, your truth. Living with purpose means refusing to let your light be dimmed, no longer playing the supporting character in a story that centers around someone else's desires and priorities. It means recognizing that you are the main character, and in your life others are only guests, extras in the background, passing by as you carve out your path. Every choice you make, every direction you turn, should be a step toward your growth, your passions, your dreams. You're not here to be shaped by their opinions or to fill in the spaces they leave blank. You're here to build a life so unapologetically yours that it resonates with the truth of who you are. In taking ownership, you set yourself free from the endless cycle of validation and rejection. You become unbound, unstoppable, grounded in the truth that only you can determine your worth. Each chapter, each moment, becomes a testament to your strength, your resilience, and your self-respect. Live boldly, live fully, and take pride in every page. This is your story, and the pen is finally in your hands. Write it unapologetically. Let them watch, let them wonder, but never again will they control the story of you. Hold back and let the tides turn in your favor. Every time you reach out, check your phone, or linger on that last message, you're giving away pieces of your power. You're letting them see a desperation that betrays your worth, making it too easy for them to believe that you'll always be there, ready and waiting. Stop. Stop acting thirsty. Pull back. Reclaim what's yours, and let them realize the value of what they've lost sight of. Stop casting your energy outward, seeking validation, and instead turn that energy back to yourself. Let your silence speak louder than any words. It's in this restraint, in your quiet confidence, that you cultivate a power they cannot ignore. Move in silence. Keep parts of yourself hidden like treasures guarded deep within. Not every detail, every thought, every plan needs to be broadcasted to them. The more they know, the less they'll wonder. The more they assume, the less they'll value. Build a fortress around your intentions, only revealing what serves your purpose. You are a vast ocean, deep and unknowable, with currents that shift and flow beneath the surface. Let them glimpse only what you choose to reveal, and in the mystery they will find themselves drawn closer, curious, captivated. Silence and mystery build respect, and when you guard your inner world, you command attention without ever needing to ask for it. And most critically, own your time. Stop allowing them to dictate your life, your energy, or your focus. You are not their placeholder, waiting for scraps of attention. Fill your life with what sets you ablaze, what nourishes and strengthens you. Dive into pursuits that feed your spirit, that expand your world beyond the reach of their opinion or validation. Pack your schedule, not with obligations, but with moments that elevate you, that sharpen you. Each hour you spend on yourself, each step you take toward your own growth, is a reminder that you are complete, that your worth is not defined by their attention. This is how you reclaim your power, by ceasing to act desperate, by moving in silence, and by owning every second of your time. You are not a shadow clinging to someone else's light. You are the light itself, radiant and whole. When you take these steps, you shift the balance. You no longer wait, you no longer pine, you no longer bow. Instead, you rise, centered and sure, knowing that your energy, your presence and your time are gifts only worthy of those who truly see their value. Your standards are the fortress walls, guarding the worth and value you carry within. When you accept less, you signal to the world that you are willing to settle, that what you receive, no matter how meager, is enough to satisfy you. Each compromise chips away at that fortress, lowering its walls and allowing others to offer only the bare minimum, knowing you will accept it. But here is a truth you must hold firmly. Accepting less will only teach them to give you less. Raise your standards. Let them reach the heights of your true worth and refuse anything that doesn't meet them. You owe it to yourself to demand more, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. Your standards are not an inconvenience or a burden. They are a testament to your worth. Lowering them to accommodate others is like dousing your inner flame, smothering your radiance to make others comfortable. This is not kindness, and it's not strength. It's self-abandonment. When you prioritize your standards, you set boundaries that make it clear you will not compromise your value for anyone. You are not here to be molded into someone else's expectations. You are here to stand firmly in your own. Do not accept behavior, words, or actions that fall short of what you deserve. Settling in any form only robs you of the life you are meant to lead. It tells others that you are willing to be treated as less, that they don't need to rise to meet you because you'll lower yourself to accommodate them. But each time you raise your standards, you strengthen your boundaries, creating a sanctuary of self-respect that protects and honors your essence. Those who wish to enter must rise to the level you set. They must respect the values you live by, or they have no place in your world. So demand more. Let your standards be your guardrails, guiding you away from those who would take without giving, who see your worth but refuse to honor it. When you uphold your standards, you attract those who recognize and respect the fullness of who you are. And for those unwilling to rise, let them fall away. Your path doesn't need them. Each uncompromising step you take strengthens your resolve and purifies your surroundings, leaving only those who understand and cherish your value. This is how you live with purpose. Set your standards high, unwavering, and let nothing tempt you to diminish them. They are not walls keeping others out. They are pillars lifting you to the level you were meant to live at. Refuse to settle. Stand tall in your worth, and the world will have no choice but to meet you there. Silence is not a weakness. It is a fortress, a guard against anyone who seeks to penetrate your calm with their noise. You owe no explanations, no words to those who feel entitled to your reasons. Each time you stay silent, you reclaim your energy, reinforcing that you are not theirs to dissect, question, or control. Silence is not passivity, it's power. It communicates without words that you're beyond their reach, that their approval or understanding isn't required for you to stand tall in your truth. They may expect answers, assume they deserve insight into your thoughts, but you owe them nothing. Let your silence speak for you. While the world may press you to explain yourself, this pressure is merely another attempt to chip away at your strength. Hold your silence firmly, because it's your right. It shields your peace, your stability, your direction. When you withhold explanations, you shatter the illusion that others have any claim on your mind. Your silence leaves them wondering, searching for answers they will never have, realizing that your life is yours alone. And as you hold your silence, focus every ounce of your energy on yourself. Prioritize your growth, not for anyone's validation or acknowledgement, but because you deserve to thrive. Glow up for yourself, for your own pride and joy, untethered from anyone else's gaze. Grow into the best version of yourself with no need for applause and no care for anyone's opinion. When you build yourself up without seeking outside approval, you are untouchable. You become the center of your own universe, radiating strength, confidence, and an undeniable sense of self-worth. Their eyes may be on you, but their judgments become meaningless as you shine purely for yourself. Mastering silence also means becoming unafraid to say no. It is one of the most powerful words in your arsenal, an affirmation of your boundaries and your self-respect. When you say no and mean it, you declare that your time and energy are sacred and not available for others to use as they wish. There is no guilt in this. There is only pride and integrity in knowing that you are responsible for guarding your own limits. No one has a right to exhaust your resources, to demand your time, or to pull you away from the life you're building for yourself. Your boundaries are not negotiable. They are the walls protecting the empire of your own peace and progress. In mastering silence, you master yourself. Your power grows untethered from anyone else's expectations. You become resilient, grounded and free, holding the reins of your own life. Through silence, growth, and unyielding boundaries, you transform, rooted deeply in the truth that your energy, your time, and your life are yours to cherish, not theirs to consume. You hold the power over your own mind, your own emotions. No one should be able to sway you or plant doubts in your heart. When you ground yourself firmly, when you make the decision to be emotionally untouchable, you strip them of the control they might crave over you. Your emotional independence becomes an impenetrable shield, protecting your inner peace. They may try to push, to manipulate, to find weaknesses in the armor of your calm, but they will come up empty-handed. Your strength is not theirs to compromise. This independence disrupts any hold they think they have. By refusing to let others dictate your feelings, you send a clear message. You are sovereign over your own heart. They can no longer play the game of trying to pull you up or drag you down based on their whims. When you build your peace from within, when you decide that no one outside of you holds the power to affect your spirit, you become a force beyond their reach. Your happiness, your stability no longer dances to anyone else's tune. It moves only to the rhythm of your own making. Emotional independence is not coldness. It's an unshakable foundation, a steadfastness that rises from knowing who you are and what you deserve. You don't need anyone else's words, moods, or approval to validate your worth. You're no longer pulled by the tides of their feelings or expectations, and this disturbs anyone who thought they had the power to shape your moods, your reactions. Instead of reaching outward, looking for cues on how to feel, you center yourself in your own truth. You define your joy, your strength, on your own terms, untethered to their judgments or moods. In this steadiness, you create a fortress that no one else can enter. By mastering emotional strength, you walk through life not swayed by passing storms. They can try to provoke or unsettle you, but they will find that you stand unmoved. This independence is the ultimate act of reclaiming yourself, pulling your peace out of reach from anyone who would dare disturb it. They are forced to face that they have no power over you. They must reconcile with the truth that you have taken back every ounce of control. Stay solid and let no one penetrate this inner calm. Your independence becomes your sanctuary, a place of unwavering peace that no one else can alter. You are not a puppet on their strings. You are the master of your own mind, the guardian of your own joy. In this strength, you rise above the grasp of those who thought they could control your emotions. You have reclaimed your peace, and it is yours to keep, untouched and untouchable. Stand firm and know your worth. When you chase, you dilute the power of who you are, scattering your energy outward in desperate pursuit. But when you let go of the need to grasp for others' attention, you become a force, an undeniable presence that draws in exactly what's meant for you. There is no strength in running after anything or anyone. True strength lies in becoming the magnet, letting the currents of your own confidence and self-worth pull the right people and opportunities toward you. Stop reaching out with hands open, hoping for scraps of attention or affection. Instead, plant your feet firmly and radiate your worth. Let others come to you, attracted not by any effort you expend, but by the energy you carry within. When you hold yourself high, when you stop bending to reach others, you set a standard that speaks volumes. Those who are aligned with your energy will recognize it, drawn to you by a force beyond simple attraction. They will know without words that you are someone who respects and values themselves enough to wait for what's right. This shift from seeking to attracting requires you to release anything that isn't truly meant for you. Let go of the illusions and attachments that drain you. Holding on to things that don't fit the life you're building, clinging to what's not aligned, only clouds your path, weighing you down with unnecessary baggage. When you trust that what's truly meant for you will find its way, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of pursuit. Your confidence becomes a beacon, a light that can't be ignored, guiding those who resonate with your true self. Being the magnet means understanding that your worth is not up for negotiation. It's not diminished by someone's lack of recognition or inflated by their praise. Your self-worth is a constant, independent of anyone else's opinion. This is the energy that attracts, that pulls in people, opportunities, and experiences aligned with your highest good. When you are anchored in your own value, you are no longer susceptible to the empty promises or temporary attention of those who don't genuinely see you. Step fully into the power that has always been yours. Embrace self-worth as your foundation, a truth that grounds and elevates you. As you reclaim your energy, you strip away everything that has held you back, shedding the weight of chasing validation. Now you live boldly, with purpose, no longer bending for anyone who doesn't recognize your value. Your presence alone demands respect. You are a chosen one, walking in strength and certainty, guided by an unwavering sense of worth that no one else defines. This is where you stand, no longer running toward approval, no longer seeking to fill spaces that do not serve you. You have become a force, attracting exactly what resonates with who you are and releasing anything that falls short. Your life becomes a reflection of your highest self, free from the grasp of others' expectations. Your path is illuminated by your own radiance, and those who are meant to walk beside you will recognize your light without you having to chase them. Now is the time to step forward with conviction. Take this power and own it completely. Live fiercely and without apology, honoring the strength and purpose that are yours alone. Let your story be one of self-respect and resilience, of a life lived on your own terms. Share your story, your triumphs and challenges alike, and let others see what it truly means to walk in power.